as you know, a person going through this pandemic as well, I can't help but think about all my friends that I moved away from, and it's kind of just it's always hard to see them, living life, having fun, and advancing life when you're just sitting there wondering what's going on. Like, why can't I do the same?
Mhm.
And I'm pushing my own agenda. If I'm being honest, I don't know if that's how you feel, but it is always that. Oh, they have kids now. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. A little bit it's like a little sting. It's almost like a little wake up call. Like, hey, the world's moving, and are you moving with it? And it feels like that, but then at the same time, everyone is slowed down right now. So we all have to kind of like check ourselves and realize that it might feel like everything else is moving, but everybody's slowed down right now. So it's okay to take a break.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always hosted by me, yours truly, Chris. Hi, welcome, everybody, to episode number 395, 5 away from the big 400. I just wanted to, first off, thanks everybody who gave me a birthday shout-out, everyone who stopped by the 12-hour Twitch birthday stream and made it a phenomenal success for me personally, and just I felt the love last week, and from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate all of that. And of course, continuing on with the message that I keep promoting. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy out there. Fall is almost here. And, be courteous and be kind to others, wear a mask, and treat everybody with respect. So that is the continued message of the podcast, and I will not let you all forget that. But, we need to chat about my guest for today. My guest today is a wonderful singer, songwriter, musician, a mental health awareness enthusiast, all that great stuff rolled into one body, one man. It's amazing, really. The one and only Eric Dash is on the podcast today, and he has some phenomenal music out that I recommend that you all go check it out. He just released a single, I Just Need to Get Away, and if you just need to get away from this podcast to listen to the episode, I'm not gonna fault you for it, because it's a good single, and I think everybody should listen to it. But you know what? Instead of me talking about it, let's listen to Eric talk about his song. I think that's actually a much better idea. So everybody, sit back, relax, and Eric, take it away.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, there we go. It's going well. How about with you?
Yeah, it's going. I mean, I whenever I get numbers like calls from odd numbers, I didn't realize they're gonna be calling on a. It literally just shows up as 11111. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that.
Well, it's weird because I sent a text from my phone saying it's going to be a weirdo number because
Yeah.
it's Skype.
I didn't see that text message tweeted.
Yeah.
But fair enough. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Just kind of chilling today. How about with yourself?
a lot is going on.
Yeah.
Not chilling at all. But I'll be chilling tonight. I'm going to take a break tonight and cook some dinner and hang out with a friend. So that'll be good.
Nice. Is it just mainly music based that's going on?
Yeah. Just now I just produced a few artists and I had to do their mixes and then have them approved. So I was working on those all morning to get them their approval done because I have to, for deadlines, get it over to mastering.
Gotcha.
Kind of
Okay.
deal.
Okay. Do you find that working with other artists helps you improve on your own personal, solo work?
Absolutely. I mean, every time it's a little bit different. Even when sometimes when you're working with someone that's just incredible, you learn a lot from them, and they don't even know that they're teaching you. And then sometimes when you're working with someone that you need to show the ropes to, it's like a good reinforcement. It's kind of like teaching in general. When you teach, you kind of you reinforce everything pretty well in your brain, and it helps, and you teach yourself as well when you're doing it. So both of it's really helpful for me, like going in and getting creative, because everybody comes in with different references for different things that they want to accomplish. So it's kind of like if a lot of different producers sending over mixes or like rough drafts of productions to mixers. It's like all these mixers see inside the brains of so many different influences, so they get more tools in the toolbox. And it's kind of the same thing when you work with new artists.
Okay. Is there, speaking from the producer side, somebody looking on the outside in, I guess, is there a certain process that you enjoy more out of that?
What I enjoy most is not doing the same thing over and over again. It's not about like one thing that's better. I love songwriting. I love producing. I love like even something monotonous like a tuning a vocal. I'm cool with that. But if it's over and over again doing the same exact thing, I'll just go insane. I have to do different tasks. So I will hop between sessions and artists because if it's it can get a little crazy when you're just sitting behind a computer doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. Okay. And and then as far as your musical career, the songs that you write and things like that, is there a process in your writing at all, or is it just like I need to devote a certain amount of time, get in a certain headspace, or is it literally like, hey, I'm brushing my teeth, I got a song idea?
I guess it happens every which way. Mm-hmm. Recently, I've been, I used to just pick up my guitar and write chords and just play parts and whatever inspired me while I was playing. I would make a part and then sing on top of it and just write a song the kind of old-fashioned way. But today, a lot of it is driven by top line. So I started doing some songs where I would make a rough track, something very simple with a beat, and maybe one guitar line on it or something, or just chords on top of it. And I would just like create an audio file for it and just walk around the park and just do top line to it like I'm a pop artist. And that's a good way to do it too. And sometimes I have an idea of like what I want to write a song about, but a lot of the time when I do that, it doesn't necessarily come out the right way. It's like I have too much emotion to write about that topic. It's just like I don't even know what to say. There's too many thoughts. Sometimes it's easier to write about something that is like an easier conversation.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. And since we've all been going through this situation together, have you noticed that during the pandemic and lock-in and all that, has your creative juices been flowing a little bit more?
Honestly, they're just different. I mean, at first I wanted to play a lot of guitar, and I was doing a lot of guitar playing, like Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of blues stuff, just to like brush up on chops. And then I got really into production, and then I went back to guitar. Then I started writing a lot because some manager guy wanted to hear some songs, so I just punched songs in, and that was inspiring, and I went down that hole. I don't have like a method to my madness. I'm just kind of everywhere. It just depends on what takes me that day or that week. So, it's been very inspiring just because, stuck inside that we're making the best use of our time. But for me, I'm always stuck inside anyways. Everybody would come to my studio and we would work here, or we would go for a walk and talk about music. I was always working alone on my computer for the most part anyways. So it's more along the lines of like trivial interactions throughout the day that have changed for me.
Gotcha. Okay. And I want to, take a step back with writing music because, as somebody who's been doing this for a while, do you ever look back on your previous work, even like if it was unreleased, like a notebook of songs, something like that, and, go through and just think, I miss this person, or I don't know what the hell this person was talking about. Do you have any feelings like that when it comes to your older work?
You mean when I've written about someone else in my past, and you go back and you look at it?
Yeah, it could be anything, really. Yeah.
There's sometimes where I listen to a song and it completely transports me back to where I was in the middle of that. And I do think about whether it's that person or the feeling that I had when I made it. And sometimes you don't think about it; you have that same feeling. It just comes at you, even if it's like a past love that you haven't had emotions towards in a while. It's like, oh, I remember that emotion. It's kind of like trapped in a little bottle, and you can always open it back up if you want to. I never really thought of it like that, but there's a song that's coming out that's very much about it's about my friends from home, and it's about how like everybody moved away to different cities, and everybody got a job in different I guess professions, and kind of is making their own life for themselves. Some people have kids on the way or have kids already. And you go back to that hometown, and it's not the same anymore, and it's just new faces, and it's a new place. It's not where I grew up anymore. Mm-hmm. And, when I wrote that, I was really sad about it, and I'm okay with it now, but then when I listen to the song, it makes me sad about it. So I completely – it's a good question.
What's that song called?
That one's called "Please Don't Be Far." That's been it's very in the vein of older records, but I tracked it for the full band in a great studio called Sunset Sound, and it's like the fourth take. I just used that take most of it, and it's pretty live. And it sounds like maybe like old school Coldplay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like a very much. I want to do something like Sparks, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you know that record.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So I love all that stuff. So I mean, there's a bunch of songs in that vein.
There's as a person going through this pandemic as well, I can't help but think about all my friends that I moved away from, and it's kind of just it's always hard to see them living life, having fun, and advancing life when you're just sitting there wondering what's going on, why can't I do the same? Mm-hmm. And I'm pushing my own agenda. If I'm being honest, I don't know if that's how you feel, but it is always that, oh, they have kids now. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little thing. It's almost like a little wake up call. Like, hey, the world's moving, and are you moving with it?
Right.
And it feels like that, but then at the same time, everyone is slowed down right now. So we all have to kind of like check ourselves and realize that it might feel like everything else is moving, but everybody's slowed down right now. So it's okay to take a break.
Right.
Feel
Right.
easier on
And then you have a new song that is out. I Just Need to Get Away.
Yeah, it's coming out.
It's coming out. Okay.
It comes out on the 28th.
28th. Okay, perfect. It, I was listening to this song, and I got like vibes from, what was the band I was thinking of? Like Blur. You know that band, Blur?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And again, being in the pandemic, I'm going down, like 90s bands that I grew up listening to, and that really made me appreciate the feel and groove of this song even more.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, it wasn't meant to do that. I think that when you do anything with woohoos in it, it's gonna, people that know Blur they're gonna be like, oh, it's very Blur. Yeah. And when I started singing woohoo, I thought to myself, this is pretty Blur, just because that's just the famous song that has that in it. But it was actually something that when I was doing it, I was thinking Everclear.
Right. Yes.
I was feeling Everclear. I was like listening to a bunch of Everclear and a bunch of Nirvana. I was listening to Weezer. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a simple chord 90s-esque song, because that's the stuff that I love too, man. It's like I love that kind of music. It's a shame that people say it's like coming back just because someone might do a 90s guitar lick that they put on a loop, but that's not 90s. It's just a guitar loop. So I hope that people like this. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, Everclear is one of those bands that I've never met a person to hate Everclear that lived through the 90s.
Yeah. Well, they were just amazing. They were amazing, and Art's voice was just incredible. Like the way he could, like, I don't know, the end of Wonderful, he was just sang out like a maniac. Oh my God. I've tried to cover that song so many times. My voice does not do that. He's just so good. I think it's funny because for the longest time I didn't know Blur had that woohoo song. Like I knew Blur from like Coffee and TV. So when I think of Blur, I think of that song. And then they just happened to make this like the super like football sport stadium song, whatever. And I was just like, oh, I get okay. Yeah. It was football, and also, you know why? Did you ever play Madden? Like Madden on? Yeah, it was the Madden song for a year. So it's like if you ever played Madden, everybody knows it that played Madden around that time, because over and over again, if you were doing like mini camps or in Madden with like the running game and the side game, the mini games, it was just like woohoo would be playing in the background over and over again. It's kind of haunting, actually. I would wake up in the middle of the night.
When you were talking about how this song morphed, what was the thing that took the longest with this song to figure out or to crack?
Well, this song was kind of simple, but also difficult at the end. So I wrote this a while ago. I wrote it probably in September of 2019, and I guess it's not that long ago, but I wrote it around then, and then I just kept on playing it out at little coffee shops. I was playing all around town for a while, like regularly, but I just didn't promote it because I didn't want to tell people, hey, I'm just going out to try these songs out, or, come out and sing it. I was kind of just doing acoustic sets for my soul kind of deal. And I would go out and play it to like crowds of 5 to 15 people. And everybody would always love this song when I did it. So I knew I had to like sing it sooner or later. And I woke up one morning and I was like, today's the day. I don't know what it was. And I recorded the guitar in the morning and the vocal at night, and a friend came over and we programmed the drums together that night. And then the rest of it was tracked over the next 2 days with my other friend on guitar. And we laid over like the overdubs on top of my playing. Mm-hmm. And then it was pretty simple. Like, you know, we were going to keep the MIDI drums, like the digital sounding samples, mm-hmm. but I had a friend send me a sound from his rehearsal studio, and it sounded like absolute garbage. and for some reason, when you think about the song like this, like it's such like a Blur kind of song, it's like garage band rock, and I was like, that garbage is awesome. Like, track the drums in there, play exactly what we programmed, but do it a performance and send it over to me. Let's see what it sounds like. And I got it back. It was unbelievable, and I just threw it in. It was pretty simple in terms of all of that. It was more along the lines of, like, you know, all of the processing that I was doing. So I was really trying to make something that was traditionally an organic record, because all of us were playing through amps. It wasn't DI. It wasn't done like a pop thing. It was done like a real record was done in the past with the band. But mm-hmm. I was trying to process everything so it sounds like it's 2020, even though it's a real band. So that was kind of like the little hoop I had to jump through. Well, I've been trying to jump through that hoop for a while. I think I finally got it right for me, at least on this one, where it's like I feel like it has the essence of the 90s and the essence of a room and that feeling of a band, but it also feels like it should be played in 2020, which is great for me. I'm happy about it.
It's always amazing how literally a difference in the environment that the instruments are recorded in can affect the feel of a song.
Oh, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. You know, it's just if you record an instrument, you know, I think the most contributing factor to the modernity of this song is probably because everything was recorded at my house. It was all amps and such, but it was very condensed sounds, and it was all in, you know, a side room. It wasn't in a traditional studio with lofted ceilings and on an SSL or on a Neve or whatever board they're carrying in there. It was just all digital going in. So, you know, I think that definitely is a contributing factor. And I think that if you record in any room with different cables or whatever mic you set up, or pull the mic off a little bit, like an inch to the left or an inch back or whatever you do, that would have made it completely different.
It's so funny. I know a couple of sound guys who, when it comes to their gear, you know, they're very particular, and, you know, this has to be this has to be this, stuff like that. And growing up, I just, or, you know, being trained by them, I just didn't understand why. But I mean, you said it perfectly, where, you know, if something is, you know, off on the gear, it could change the sound completely. So it's the whole reason why I still use the same setup. And, you know, I'm afraid to substitute anything out, because I'm like, well, I don't want to ruin anything. So I'll just keep with this. You know, I'll move stuff around it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you know, so the only thing that I have to say about that is, if it sounds cool, it's cool. It's as simple as that. You know, if it doesn't, I have a bunch of gear, and I used to be like swapping out gear and trying out new mics and trying this and trying that and trying to find the formula, going vintage. And now for this song, I actually stripped away most of my gear, chose the worst preamps and the worst compressor and the worst stuff that I have, the lowest quality microphones that I have. I did it all with the least expensive gear.
Yeah.
And I did it because that's what modern is today. It's all just like, bad circuitry.
Exactly. Earlier this year, I
Yeah.
bought a new mic because I was just like, I've had my eye on this mic for the longest time, and it's I finally need something that's gonna be here. And I picked it up, and it was heavy as shit, and it was great. It was awesome. I used it for one day, and I said, I've used this mic. I'm going to go back to my old ways because it just doesn't feel right having this big, giant mic. And so I just reverted back to
Yeah.
my old system because I'm like, this is what I know. Or this is what feels right for me anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, what mic was it?
Oh, man. It was, have you ever heard of the King Bee?
I haven't.
So, yeah. So,
King
okay.
Bee.
So the makers of like the Blue microphones, have you heard of those?
Yeah, of course.
They ventured off with Gibson to create a pro line of microphones that are geared towards vocals and instruments, stuff like that.
Okay.
The one that I wanted was their top of the line, and for years it had been like maybe $300 to $400 to $500. I forget how much. They have since gone independent, and they retain all the technology and everything, so they slash their prices like crazy. So I was just like, you know what? Since it's like $100 for their top of the line microphone. So I was like, let me give them a try because I've had my eye on this microphone for years now, and again, super cool. Just wasn't for me. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first off, that's a crazy price. That's like a very, very low price for a top of the line mic for them. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, no. If anybody asked me, oh, what mics would I get? I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and get them. They're really nice sounding. I just have my Sennheiser vocal mics that I've used out in the field. Recording and just it was one of those. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking with Brian Bell. And I'm gonna name drop, which I already did, but do you know who Brian Bell is?
Is he related to Louis?
No, well, he could be. I don't know, but he's the guitar player in Weezer.
Okay.
And I remember talking to him, and we were having a conversation. He was just looking at me, and he's like, "Aren't you going to monitor anything?" And I was just looking at him, was like, "Oh no, I got it all down, baby." And he just laughed and was like, "Okay." And then looking back, I was just like, well, the only reason why I was so confident in front of this man who's been recording longer than I've been alive, not saying that he's old, but just he's been in the industry for a long time, is because I knew my equipment inside and out.
Yeah. Well, when you know your equipment, it doesn't really matter what you have,
Yeah.
as long as you know it well enough to make it sound good.
Right.
So it doesn't. Everything. It's just. It's trivial at this point.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But yeah. But for people at home who would like to keep up with you, pick up the song when it comes out, hear any of your other new music, which I'm excited for the new one that you have. Where can they do all that?
Well, my Instagram is at Eric-Music with it's not a hyphen, it's DASH. It's actually spelled out. And you can find my my posts there about like what I'm doing. I'll always post about it. There'll be a link to the new song. I'll be you can look me up on Spotify or on Apple Music or wherever you listen to music. And if anybody's playing the song on TikTok, you will see it there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody just look up my name and search the song. It's called I Just Need to Get Away. And it comes up the 28th.
Nice. And Eric, before I have you go, I just like to ask you this one question. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just very curious on your feelings. What
Okay.
does music mean to you?
Music to me. Well, I don't even know how to answer that question. Music to me is just straight passion
Mhm.
for me, and because of that, it's volatile
Mm,
because it's also a career. So,
yes.
and when you have something that's like such a passion and you have to turn it into a career, you take away some of that magic for something that everybody has to deal with, because a job is a job.
Mhm.
So music for me is like Two-Face. You know, it's like this unbelievable angel, but also a dark hole. So
There,
you know, it's like I don't know how other people would answer that question, but that's the honest, that's the ugly truth of it.
no, I totally get it. It's and I like asking that question because I've never gotten the same answer twice. And if I did, I'd be like, well, okay, well,
Yeah,
time to stop asking that question. But I mean,
yeah.
obviously, you're doing something you love while trying making a career out of it. Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah.
bittersweet because it's like, how do you
You know,
escape that?
when I listen to when I'm having a bad day and I go in my car, I still have my iPod and I listen to my old CDs on my iPod. That's how I listen to music still. I listen to iPod and listen to my vinyl.
Mm.
I don't really listen to much Spotify. It's not my, I don't know what it is. It's not my sound.
Yeah.
But like when I put on CDs and such like that, and like I go and listen, I immediately become happy. It just makes me so much better, just mentally.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I put on like American Hi-Fi the other day. It was awesome.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's therapy at the end of the day.
There we go. There we go. But Eric,
Yeah.
thank you so much for chatting with me. Anytime you want to come back, just say the words, all right, man?
All right. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but yeah, you have a good rest of your day and take it easy.
You too. All right. See ya.
Bye bye.